Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This reading today is about how your prayers are being answered. So, let's see what do we have today. For pile number 1, we have Libra, Sagittarius, Cancer, and Leo. And your card is Seth. Second pile, we have Aries, Virgo, Scorpio, and Capricorn. Your card is Min. For the third pile, we have Pisces, Gemini, Taurus, and Aquarius. And your card is Osiris. Okay, I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using your chosen card, your zodiac sign, the deck, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number 1, your card is Seth, and I believe that this card is about something that's happening right in the nick of time. So something that is saved from a loss or from some sort of negativity or a negative judgment from other people. Something that is kept safe from harm. Okay. So let's see, what else do we have for pile number 1? How is your prayer being answered? The Banes. The Banes are about toxicity, or about, they're the venomous group of this special herbal oracle. So there's something, maybe there's something that is poisonous or is a bit harmful but can also heal, because that's the power of the Banes. But it's something that you have to be really careful with, because it's a dangerous, it's a tricky situation. It's dangerous. Something is dangerous, toxic here. Okay. Let's get some more cards and see how your prayer is being answered these days. I bet this is something that really worries you, that's really very serious. I feel like it's something that's very, very scary, maybe, for you. We have intuition with Mercury in Cancer. Charity with Saturn in Cancer. Inspiration with Mercury in Pisces. Moon in Scorpio with Power. And we have the Sun in Pisces with Vision. So maybe you have your suspicions and something is coming to light. It's something that's very powerful. It's I can almost feel like this kind of David and Goliath dynamic, like fighting something really powerful, or being saved from something that would harm you. The King of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Ten of Cups, Page of Swords, the Chariot, and the Queen of Pentacles. I think I want to get some fairy cards also. Let's see. Oh, we have Indy. And the Piper. I feel like I want to get some Kipper too. Some Kipper cards. Because this is kind of puzzling. The Marriage card. So I think you're going to have this agreement. I think you're coming up against very powerful forces. And there's danger here. There's kind of there's this feeling of fighting a giant or fighting a powerful force that's kind of out of proportion with you. But I think that you will have some sort of institutional help here. Maybe you'll have a new agreement, like having a new agreement. Making a new agreement. So this card is also about being under a lot of pressure, and combined with the Seth card, so this being the answer to your prayers, I feel like help is coming from a very unexpected place and possibly turning your attention to the very fine details of a certain situation, or maybe to things that you think are not as important. And because it's like, I feel like in some way you are kind of unprotected or vulnerable, and there's an energy that wants to harm you. And I hate like fear mongering or scaring people, and that's not what my intention here at all. But it's just the story that I'm really getting, and if it doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit your situation, that's great. But if you feel like you are going through something that puts a lot of pressure on you, or that scares you, or it's very intense, it feels dangerous, it feels, or somehow your alarms are kind of ringing, and or you feel like you are alone and you don't have any help, this reading is telling you that help is coming. So your prayer is being answered because you are getting help from something or someone, and it will come from an unexpected place. It will be a great blessing that you will have. Someone will extend their hand to you and enable you to make the right choice. I feel like you will have a choice to make, because it's something about managing what you have, or managing, having the skills to understand like legislation, or how to apply certain methods, or like a theory, or legal framework to what you are doing. And making the right choice about it is very important, because I think it will allow you to like make a deal, make a good deal. It will also allow you to soften the situation and to not feel so endangered, so that it doesn't feel so risky. Yeah, resourcefulness. So also, so your prayer is being answered by having access to resources. And so this is why we have the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups here also. So having access to resources is the answer to your prayer. And it's the way, it's like a good deal, making a good deal that reveals this path that was maybe inaccessible to you. It wasn't a choice that you would consider. Okay, so can we know more about where this help is coming from? If it's such an unexpected place, or if it's just a detail that you have to understand or to study. So what is it about this helping hand? The Four of Cups. Yeah, I don't think you see it at all. Maybe it's something that you have refused in the past and you're now able to reconsider, or it's something that you thought it would never be available to you. So I don't think it's something that will actually completely surprise you. Maybe you are just not expecting it because you had discarded that hypothesis. You discarded that path. The Ace of Wands. The Fool. And the Three of Cups. I think that maybe it was something that you started, like a connection that you started in the past, and you thought it wouldn't work out. It wouldn't be productive, or it just didn't work. Something blocked it. And now something powerful is coming from that place. And it's like a great resource that is going to be available to you. Oh, so I think that so I think that you made contact with something really powerful in the past, and it was blocked by a very powerful energy, like a poisonous energy. Mm, it could not, it could be targeted, but it could also be just generally the context of the situation in general. So the context of that connection was just not viable at the moment. And maybe there was jealousy, maybe there was um, a grudge, resentment. There was a lot of things that came before, that didn't quite match this situation that you were trying to access or to start. So I think that it is very powerful. It's a great resource. And I think that your this pathway is reopening because of something you see, or something the other side, the other group, or the other institution, or the other person sees. It can be a new job opportunity. It can be a group of people that really that's resourceful, but it can also be a relationship. So what is it? Can we know more about what it is? The Tower. It's certainly something that kind of depends on many different inexplicable and unlikely aspects. It depends on other things. So it's something that depends on also the kind of the climate, the depends on the environment, on the context. It depends on the energy that surrounds it. It's not something that can stand alone. It needs structure. It's something that needs a foundation. Like I see like this building here that's really strong and solid, but it needs good foundations and upkeep, and yeah. So something that was possibly not kept and not taken care of. Justice. There's certainly a relationship with something. There are two sides, clearly two sides. And Six of Swords. I feel like it wasn't time. It wasn't the time. I also feel like timing is important here. So when is this prayer being answered? The when is kind of jumping. The Hierophant. Let me just think about this for a while. There's something about the light here. So when I get I get that this will be just before, like just before sunset, like in the evening, in the early hours of the evening. And it doesn't seem to me like it's going to be warm. It seems like it's going to be a cold season where you are at. So if you're in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere, it will be different. But it seems like there's sundown and I don't feel like it's winter. It feels like it's either autumn or spring, but it's not like warm like summer. That's the timing I get. I don't really get the date or like in 6 months or in 6 days or whatever. I just get the feeling of the time, like the right time for this to happen is at sunset, just before sunset. And it's in a day that's not cloudy, it's not too windy. There's a certain kind of, so maybe this is an activity that requires a certain, like the weather condition has to be just right. Like for instance, like for diving or for hiking or for doing something. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe this is happening while you are doing something outdoors. So, it also feels like it's something religious. Like if you are going to church or if you're going to a temple, if you're going to some sort of devotional path, spiritual path, and you meet someone here. Oh, I feel like there's a reunion with a spiritual path that will connect you to specific people and open avenues that you thought were closed to you, and they were, because maybe there was a lot of negativity surrounding you specifically. And I think that happened because it was so powerful. It was so overwhelming. It's like it crashed, it kind of crashed the system. There was this loop that stopped you. And I think there's a revisitation, there's a reconsidering, and then something opens, like a doorway opens, so that you can explore it again and be safe from harm. Explore it while being safe from harm. I want to know more about this harm that it feels really dangerous. That's so strange. Wow, 7 of Swords. Someone took something from you. And I think that you got the hint that you should leave before it gets worse. Wow. It was really bad. I'm sorry, because if this is not your case, that's great, actually, because going through this would be scary. It's like seeing a really nasty aspect of humanity and being quite disappointed and sad that you had to go through this. It's a very toxic environment. It's very dangerous, actually. And I think that you were absolutely not in tune with that and you had to leave. And now you are reconsidering that connection that was really strong because something changed. So, what changed? The Hanged Man and the Nine of Cups. I think that people on the other side, are going to understand the sacrifice that you have made and how potent it was. This is not the first time recently that I feel like sacrifices are going to be rewarded with great resources and resourcefulness and friendship and connection and success as a whole. It's so interesting. I think you're going to be given things also. Like there's a generosity that will come looking at you and understanding what you went through and how you turned it around, how you did something quite elegantly. And then you will have some kind of opportunity going towards you to start, and you'll be able to start something that's really interesting. And also I feel like there's a renewed enthusiasm and a passion that's reignited because people will see you differently, and you will be able to agree to kind of bond and come to an agreement that is very productive for you, very it's like getting something back that was owed to you also, because people will understand that exchange of energy that comes from this sacrifice. So there's someone wants to honor that and comes to you with a very enchanting and kind proposition. Interesting. So this is how your prayer is being answered. Beautiful reading. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2, your card is Min. And Min is about something mischievous, something possibly treasonous or misleading, deceit. But this is just a start. Let's see how your prayer is being answered. So we have Bramble. Okay, what else? She of the Cruac. So different, the energy. She of the Cruac is a loving energy. It's unconditional love and I always think about mother energy also when I see She of the Cruach. It's such a sweet energy. So in contrast with Min, both of these actually. Because Bramble is about resilience. It's about not letting people walk all over you. There's also something maybe defensive here, because brambles are full with thorns. Okay. Exaltation with the moon in Taurus. Drama with Mercury in Leo. Convention with Venus in Capricorn. Principle with Jupiter in Sagittarius. Achievement with Sun in Capricorn. And versatility with the Sun in Gemini. Okay. So I guess that knowing your boundaries also, and knowing what to nurture and what not, what doesn't need your attention, might also be a way that this situation unravels, develops. And I feel like there's this need to put drama. It's like putting the drama in a box. And understanding the difference between emotional, how do I say this? Like sublime emotional processing and just being addicted to drama, and putting also the people that represent both of these categories in their rightful place in relation to you, so that you are accessible when things are healthy. Even if people have negative feelings, the way they show them and the way they approach you with them it can be very different. It can feel very, very different. And I feel like you are going to understand that you need to be very clear. Like you have to have a very clear rule about this. So I feel like your prayers are answered by you being able to first and foremost deal with people who bring certain kinds of influences into your life, and having very clear boundaries, having a very clear objective. Like, this is what I want out of this relationship, and I will strive, I will do my best to have that. And the other person has to meet you somewhere where is safe and balanced and equal standing. And there's also some sort of climatic event here. Let's see what it is. And maybe this is the blessing. It's like you have this attitude of having a very clear line with someone or a situation. And by doing that, you kind of activate an energy that will have like a climax, that will have a sort of height. And I feel like that's the answer to your prayer. Okay. Two of Wands with Dominion. Five of Wands. And yeah, this is a dispute. This is a conflict. This is like there's a place where energies clash, and that's where you will have to have your very strong boundary up and be, how do I say this? And keep your feelings, keep your emotional stability while doing that. The Devil. There's some sort of testing here. With Min and the Devil, I feel like there's some sort of kind of a temptation. There's a temptation to do something that maybe you know is wrong, or that kind of ruins this balance. The Nine of Pentacles. The Prince of Swords or the King of Swords. Two of Pentacles. I feel like there's some sort of exaggeration also. So there's a like a peak of energy, a sort of a height, and I feel like it's very draining. It's tiring. Something really tiring here. The Eight of Wands. So I feel like having speed is something that will benefit you. So being quick, solving things quickly, not dwelling. If this is a conversation that you're going to have, or some sort of a a moment of truth with someone, I would advise you to make it quick and not dwell too much on it, and move on from it really quickly. Have that versatility, have that it's having a solidity and a strong boundary, but also being adaptable and able to switch from that mode into a more like speed, and make things move forward, address things that come next. Don't get stuck on a certain subject with someone. And if that person wants you to stick with them in a certain kind of feeling, or like a very oppressive, I feel like there's an oppressive energy, and there's maybe this is also someone who is quite challenging to you, because they also have strong boundaries, but their boundaries are more like they're like conventional thinking. They're like, so someone doesn't have the ability to kind of think out of the box, maybe, and there's a need, you need nurturing that goes beyond that. You need to move to the other side of the subject. You need to move on. And I think that the blessing that comes to you, so the answer to your prayer, is that things can move faster, and you are allowed to move with them. You can go with that movement. You don't need to be stuck with that person or that situation. You can move on. Okay, let me just clarify this The singer of courage. So I think that you're going to be blessed with courage to move forward, and that's the answer to your prayer, because things are going to move. I think that it's like getting the ball running, and so maybe you've prayed for some sort of resolution in a situation and it's happening. And I think that it will be easier if you stand your ground, if you're also meeting that force that the other, brings. If it's drama, if it's just very limited thinking, and people they have like dogmas they follow, or they want you to follow specific rules that are not applicable to your situation. You have to come up with your own set of rules that is very strong and also very well resolved, very well understood, so that like you have your lesson very well learned, so that when this climax event happens, that might be kind of a very important talk, a very important conversation, some sort of face-to-face interaction maybe, or just any type of conflict. When you arrive at that moment, you have that courage because you know what comes after. You're not afraid of what comes after. You know there's something after that. It's not the end of the world, but maybe for that person, it's the end of the world because it's the end of their world. But you will also have to make a decision about the end of your own world in a way that it's more like your territory. Like, this is my territory and your world can meet me here. But you can't invade my space. You can't come, and do whatever you want with my energy, because I want to do my things. I want to have this opportunity, or I want to chase this specific I don't know, maybe something comes up and that you want to do, and someone is kind of feeling like they're weighing you down. Strength card. Yeah, hold the line. Hold your boundaries very clear. Have your principles and your moral compass. Something like having very clear ideas. And I also think that limiting what you say and understanding that there are many things that other person will not understand. You can't bring that person with you maybe in certain parts because they won't understand your territory, and it's like they're stepping on your garden and they think it's just weeds that are growing and they're not important, and they don't understand your values. So yeah, having the courage to stand your ground, the courage to stand by your ideals and what is healthy for you. The Empress. Once again with the nurturing energy, I feel like this is so this person can also be a mother energy, a motherly energy, or someone who has that role in your life. It can be a very nurturing friend or something like that. It can also be a relationship, a romantic relationship. But I am feeling like you are going to have to kind of mother yourself understand how to nurture yourself so that when that person comes to you, you clearly show them how you want to be loved, and they know what rules to follow. But I don't think that they will understand everything that you have to say. I think you will have to be maybe maybe you'll have to kind of lower your expectations a little bit, or just be patient with that person. Okay, so anything else about how your prayers being answered? Seven of Swords. You know, I keep thinking that you shouldn't, your prayers being answered because you are not going to reveal everything to this person. You shouldn't reveal everything to this person. This person will not understand. And I think you have to get your courage, and you have to get your nurturing from a truthful place, from a place that is clear of interference, clear of doubts, questioning. I do feel like there's conflicting worldviews here, and the power of the bramble is the power to protect territory, also to defend territory, to defend your worldview. So that's how your prayers being answered, is by you having this moment of courage to defend your worldview. Because then it's like you have access to a whole different way of finding this love and nurturing and fertility and abundance, because you will have achieved something tremendous with that. Because it's like having, it's more than confidence, it's almost like there's a confirmation of something. Once you achieve that goal of instituting that boundary, there comes another part of this, that's the true blessing here, that is not lingering in disapproval, not lingering in the confusion, the confused ideas of other people, having a clearer mind, not having, lies or doubts or shady things disturbing your mind and disturbing your ability to connect to the love that's there, that's natural. Because it's like having the approval, the approval of the mother or the father, but not really depending on a specific person for that. Feeling that you are doing good. You are doing what's right. What's right for you. So interesting. So the answer to your prayer is going to be to have more space, more space for yourself to be truthful, and more access to unconditional love that is available for all of us, regardless of who surrounds us, regardless of who criticizes us. That's very interesting. Yeah, regardless of the drama that goes around you. Thank you so much for this. This was really inspiring. Thank you. And yeah, if you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3, your card is Osiris. And Osiris is the god who was reborn. So this is about receiving a great gift. So the answer to your prayer is a very positive one right from the start. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? How your prayer is being answered these days. Okay. How is pile number 3's prayer being answered? Oh. There's a lot of cards. Too many, maybe. Okay. So let's start with the Herbal Oracle. Wow. Yarrow. Beautiful. It's truly about rebirth. It's also about, like, to me, this is also about immortality and being invincible, being undefeated. Okay, let's start with the fairies first. Okay, gotcha. And wow, fairy godmother. Wow. I think you'll be surprised by this, by what happens, by the answer to your prayers. Although if we pray, we are usually, understanding what we're doing and knowing that we're asking for something. But I think that you were getting something else that you didn't ask for, and it's very surprising. Indecision with Venus in Libra. Sorry about that. It's very difficult to focus. Okay. We have Sun in Pisces with vision. So you have the eye and vision. Revenge with Mars in Scorpio. And lust with Venus in Aries. So let's see what the tarot has to say. But now I just feel like the answer to your prayer will be very sudden, unexpected. It will be much more than you were hoping for, and it will bring a lot of energy into your life. I feel there's a lot of masculine energy here also. There's this kind of boost of energy. Let's see what this is about. What is your prayer about? Okay, we have the Magician. So maybe this is something you have done very, very intentionally. Possibly in ritual also, if that's your particular spiritual path, or just in a temple, in a very magical place. That's how I feel. The Ace of Swords. It's very hard to focus. Wow. Sorry for that, but yeah. Let me see. Okay. Ace of Swords. Four of Pentacles. Ten of Cups. Eight of Wands. Four of Wands. Ten of Wands. The Chariot. I feel like you've been wanting to unburden yourself from something. And I almost feel like there was some kind of shame in this. There was some kind of something that you wouldn't admit to, maybe, or that you really didn't want to face, or that was hard to face. And so whatever's happening is happening more like quite a sudden shock or something. It's like it's something that came up to this moment because there was something that was unresolved, that was not seen, not considered. There was a kind of a, I wouldn't say a delay, it's just more of a trying to postpone, like procrastinate. There was certain procrastination. And so the answer to your prayer is that things move with a certain energy, and that energy was kind of invoked in a very specific magical moment, a very specific magical ritual, or a word that was spoken or written or used in a way that produced a certain, like a structure. So I guess it's something that kind of blocked your ambition, or to just lowered, I wouldn't say lowered the expectations, it's just more limited your, dreams. Maybe you didn't believe that you didn't really believe it when you asked for it. No, that's not what I meant. It's like you didn't really believe it, but you asked for it with a lot of intention and fervor. And I think that the answer to your prayer is coming with that energy, and not with your maybe day-to-day life that's more like, yeah, this is not going to happen. It's too, over the top. It's almost impossible. It's, very, very unlikely. I do feel like you're getting your wish. You're getting the answer to your prayer is going to surprise you, because it's going to be so much more than you are right now envisioning. And there's one thing also that I feel I should say, although it won't be for all of you. If you want to have children, if you want to get pregnant or to be a father, I think that you will be surprised by something, some kind of a message about that, or the possibility of that, like there's a positive development there that I feel can be very, how do I say this? It can be such a blessing for some of you, but this is just, some of you, with the fairy godmother and all the signs of like fertility and also fecundity, like the moment of, when the let's say the sperm hits the egg, and the moment that life creation, that moment, like there's like this shock, right? This encounter. I feel like that's a possibility in your life right now, if that's something that you are praying for. So, okay, let's see what else. So when you prayed, you put in this energy that is being honored. And it is a victory for you. It is something that you will very easily integrate into your life once you understand how. Okay, let me just... What is this prayer about? The Wheel of Fortune. The Hermit. And the Knight of Cups. I feel like it can be something like as sweet as that, like wishing for children, or it can be something like wishing for something for a child, or I don't know why I keep feeling this really small, tiny, energy of like a baby. But it can also be that you were praying for an offer of love. You were praying for having someone show you love. And I think that that's going to happen. But it's going to come with a lot of power, like a volcano. It's going to come with more passion than maybe you were expecting. The Ace of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles. I can't help but think that you are going to be surprised by maybe it's a person that has a certain characteristic about them that is kind of weird to you, or that is something that you're not used to, and it will kind of shock you to know that. It can also be that person comes in with a lot of resources, and then suddenly you kind of have this life-changing, even a lifestyle change because of being connected like that with a person that has access to, material wealth or certain resources that are very particular. I also think that there's something quite quirky here, kind of, eccentric about this person. It's like this person has a certain vision of life, a certain lifestyle, a certain way of living that is very different from you. But it's maybe that polarizing, magnetic, it's that difference that attracts you to this situation. And it also makes it, that person come to you. I feel like it's more like that person comes to you, and I see you as being more like receptive. But you can also be the person that is ignited to act. I feel like there's one of you is very receptive and the other is very forthright and very, bold and daring. And kind of there's one of you that's kind of timid and maybe ashamed of some things, and the other is the total opposite of that, and that kind of creates this magnetic attraction that's also kind of opening a world of possibilities for both of you, actually, and like an exploration. I do feel like this is the very beginning of something, like the very beginning of life, something that's very tiny. There's something very tiny. Maybe it's an object, maybe it's the beginning of life itself, so it's microscopic, but it can also be that there's an exchange of something very tiny, like a very tiny charm or a very, very tiny object that can be extremely valuable. And I don't know if it's just something like a jewel, or, something like a very precious stone or a very precious charm, or it's something life-giving. It's something like the beginning of life in the egg, right? There's so much hidden potential here. There's so much beneath that volcano, and it comes forth suddenly. It's kind of a shocking thing. It's like, wow, this is a lot to process, right? There's a lot of intensity. It's very fiery. There is an aspect of sexuality here that I keep sensing. Also in that, the natural way of creating life, of course, but also in just the interaction. There's something in this interaction that's very kind of charged, magnetically charged. Yeah. It's also interesting to note that Osiris is the reborn god. He was resurrected. So I also think that this is something that can make you feel younger or rejuvenated in some way. There's something very young. The energy is really young. So maybe also some of you are young and you are just starting to explore certain things about life and about your body, and you are trying to understand how to use that power, that energy. And there's and understanding that there's a link between your desires, your prayers also, of course, and the words that you use to illustrate your desires and your thoughts, and the final product and what happens in your life. So understanding consequences also, because you also have the wheel of fortune, understanding consequences. So if you are exploring sexuality and you don't want to get pregnant or you don't want to be a father, I would be especially careful here, because you might be surprised, and it can be something hard if that's not what you want in your life. So this is for some of you maybe. I would say that this is like, be careful what you wish for, because it might happen, it might come true. And if that's what you wish, that's fine. But if not, maybe be careful. That's why I am sensing here, because I feel like there's a lot of potential to create life, and there's a lot of that someone here has a lot of resources. It can also be like the ability to generate life. So if that person is very like fertile or very powerful in that way, it can be something that might happen. So yeah, be careful with what you wish for. And yeah, there's a lot of love and a lot of beauty here. I also feel like there's a lot of physical beauty in this reading. So maybe this is also something that is igniting a very passionate fire, and that energy is very is it's very, how do I say this, it has a very great big impact, and you need to use it wisely. It's also what I'm hearing. There's a lot of understanding and self-knowledge that comes from this, but the lessons can be strong. I wouldn't say bad, hard, or challenging, but I would say strong, because I feel like this is a very potent energy, and there could be some hard lessons, but I think that whatever happens, your prayer is being answered. So just be careful so that you know that you can handle all that you are asking for. That's, I think, the message here. And it can also be just, if you're praying for instance, for a very passionate relationship or a very passionate partner, that might come into your life, and it will also be very disruptive, because maybe you are accustomed to, a certain routine, or you have a certain, set ways that you want to keep, and I don't think you can keep those. I think that you have to make space for a greater gift, and yeah. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing, because it comes with also a lot of understanding of who you are, and of your own nature, and of your own life's purpose and spirituality too. But yeah, maybe this reading is coming to you so that this explosive energy is more observed and understood as a gift, and not so much as something so disruptive and something that makes you uncomfortable, right? Okay, thank you so much for this. This was so interesting. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.